Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to your Bitcoin report. Today is Thursday, April 18th, 2019. And what I wanted to talk about is something that is going to help push Bitcoin higher. The thing is, we've talked about FedCoin, how the world is going to start to, they're going to start to imitate basically the central banks and the authorities out there are going to start imitating Bitcoin with their own digital assets that are blockchain. Basically, they're going to imitate it. And, a lot of people think, hey, you know what, this is the end of Bitcoin because these central bank issued, like FedCoin, are going to take over and Bitcoin's going to go gone. This is the way they think, But I think we're in for a little bit something different here. It's going to happen. Let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here, and let's take a look at what's going on. What these things are called, they're called, let me open the chart up a little bit here. This is Wikipedia. They're called central bank digital currencies. Central bank digital currencies, or they also call it digital fiat currency, or digital base money, is a digital form of fiat money, which is a currency established as money by the government, regulation, or law. And what we're looking at here is, well, you have to say to yourself, well, how could these have an effect upon Bitcoin? What are they going to do to Bitcoin? Well, I think what they're going to do is drive adoption for Bitcoin. Let's look at this article here. And this article is Central Bank Digital Currencies Are a Trojan Horse for Bitcoin. Let me open the chart up just a little bit more. It says central bank digital currencies and Bitcoin could scarcely be more different. One is permissioned, in other words, the central bank digital currencies, like JP Morgan coin, and the other is permissionless. One is centralized, the other is decentralized. One is censorable, the other is censorship resistant. Despite their dissimilarities, CbdCs might just be the best driver yet for Bitcoin adoption, according to this article. And they list the first one here about JP Morgan unveiling its anonymous stablecoin. They talk about one of the effects that it's going to have on the system in general is these money remittance businesses that are in place, and even the SWIFT system. This is going to replace it very rapidly. First, it makes it much quicker for them to be able to transfer money over the internet without having to do third-party verifications and stuff like that. Now, these remittance companies like Western Union and PayPal and different ones, there's different ones out there, remittance companies. Western Union being the biggest. I can't think of the name of the MoneyGram is another one. There's a number of them out there anyway. These remittance companies are probably going to switch over with their own versions very soon of blockchain technology. But all of these come under the headline of CbdCs, or central bank digital currencies. The thing about it is technically, I suppose if not a central bank issues it, would it be a BDC? Anyway, these are remittance systems. They're going to take over systems like SWIFT. And it says, how are CbdCs bullish for Bitcoin? The emergence of central bank digital currency serves to legitimize and normalize digital currencies as the future of money. Within this broad context, any attention they receive helps to put further distance between Bitcoin and the tired old things that they used to say about Bitcoin. Drugs, speculation, tax evasion, all these old things they said all along, why Bitcoin's never going to go anywhere and all this kind of stuff. These narratives that they had. It said, should CBDCs gain traction, however, people will quickly discover that they offer few improvements over the current financial system and come bearing several distinct disadvantages. Digital currency transferred via permissionless ledgers or pseudo blockchains facilitate real-time tracking of customer spending at all times. Now this is big. This is important. This facilitates the banks to do real-time tracking of customer spending at all times. Okay? So they can see your transactions and how much you're sending here and sending there through their system that they're going to use to replace the SWIFT system with. These central bank controlled digital currencies that are like Bitcoin, except they're controlled. They can see every dollar you send back and forth. This is going to be competing with something that is much more anonymous. People are going to know this. See, people are not stupid. But them releasing these new digital currencies gets people used to this new technology and how it functions. So, it says here that anyone deemed to be persona non grata or even suspected of transacting with people deemed undesirables is liable to have their funds frozen and their accounts suspended. These provisions are already in place with the legacy financial system, or the old financial system. It says, but CBDCs will amplify these powers available to the government and regulators. See, now this is where the government gets into this and they start thinking to themselves, yes, let's get these CBDCs out there and stuff so that we can regulate everything. Well, the people aren't stupid. They know. And they know the difference between that and what Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies are offering them, which is anonymous transactions. Which direction do you think the people are going to move in? But at the same time, the government is putting these CBDCs in place, and they're going to put a lot of money and effort into it, which is going to lead the people in to the cryptocurrency space, but it's not real cryptocurrencies, it's a Trojan horse. But once the people are let in there, then they're going to say, hey, you know what? Why are we going to use your service? You're going to charge us like, how much are you going to charge us? And you're going to track every transaction, and then we got to fill out paperwork before we can use it and all this kind of stuff. And we got to give you our name and our address and our social security number and everything else. We're going to go over here and use the cryptocurrency instead. This is what's going to happen. You know, but not only that, most of these CBDCs are going to be linked in with the banking system, and a lot of them are probably going to be pegged to the dollar. Now, you get the dollar hyperinflating. There's another factor you got to consider. Get the dollar hyperinflating, so will these CBDCs. And on the other side of this coin, you've got cryptocurrencies going to the moon. Well, it's not going to take brain science to figure out where you want to be. Do you want to be on something that's going down in value or something that's going up in value? Let me think for a minute. Everybody's going to pick the one that's going up in value. Not only that, it's more anonymous, it works more frictionlessly on the internet. It's a no-brainer. So all they're going to end up doing in the end, the centralized digital currencies, all they're going to end up doing in the end is actually pushing Bitcoin into further adoption a little bit faster. And the more of these they release, the faster they're going to put cryptocurrency up. Now, here's another thing I wanted to say. You got 70% of the central banks on Earth considering releasing their own versions of these digital currencies. So this whole thing about FedCoin is actually happening now. They're already planning these coins and everything else, and you're going to see more and more banks increase making coins like JP coin. And I'll tell you why. One of the reasons why. There's not many people borrowing out there right now for the banks. How do you think banks make money? I'll tell you how banks make money. Banks make money by borrowing money out. They actually create that money when you borrow money. Not many people borrowing right now because the economy's off. We're getting ready to go into a recession. Okay? So the bank decides, okay, we're going to make our own coin. We'll call it whatever we want to call it. A new blockchain coin. Simple. All they got to do is get the software. Hook the software up. They can call it anything they want to call it. If you have a credit union, even these little credit unions can make their own coin. Suddenly they increase their bank reserve. Say you got a credit union called Trust Credit Union. They make a trust coin for the Trust Credit Union, right? And say they decide to make $10 million worth of them. So they make these 10 million trust coins. And then they say, well, if you want to transmit across the internet, you can use these instantaneously on any of our branches or whatever, however they're using these coins. As soon as they make those 10 million coins, the bank now has 10 million more dollars. Because the people that buy those coins are going to have to take money out of their bank account to buy them. This is going to give the banks the ability that the central bank has. In other words, your individual banks out there that don't have the ability to create money now have the ability to create money. J.P. Morgan's new coin that they just created, I think they made, $100 million worth of them or something? They just created money. This is money creation ability, these Cbdcs. No wonder they're all going to hop on board. They're going to give all the banks the power to create money. This is the way I see it anyway. Listen, thank you guys for listening to this report. And this is another thing, just another thing that's going to cause mass adoption to happen even faster on cryptocurrencies. Bye-bye, guys.